Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ. You're here on the home of the slightly above average ship review. Got a match for you today on Trident. We are down tier in the Tier 3 German premium battleship Von der Tann, allegedly classified by Wargaming as a battlecruiser. You can see it's got a weird turret arrangement where you got a front turret, a rear turret, and then two offset wing turrets. Kind of in an unusual position. We're going to talk more about those in a minute when we get started. I want to warn you right in the beginning, this is not some incredible match where I get a bunch of damage or anything like that. It's more just to showcase the ship. Because this video has a couple of things in it that I like about the ship. So let's get started here. Pardon me while I click some buttons. All right. So we're moving out. So you've got the two turrets that kind of look like they're supposed to be shot to the front. You've got another wing turret farther back on the port side, and then a rear turret. Because it's a domination match, there is one destroyer in the enemy team. I am cognizant of that. I don't really have a lot of positive stuff to say about the Von der Tann. I really don't. Allegedly, the first battleship built, or battlecruiser, pardon me, built for the German Navy, laid down in March 1908, launched in March 1909, commissioned September 2010. It was pretty much a fast dreadnought. Speed exceeding 27 knots at the time of construction. All right. There's a huge history thing on Wikipedia about Von der Tann, talking about its development and stuff like that. It says Von der Tann was faster and significantly better armored than the British ships that it was based on, the Invincible class. Whether that's true or not, who only knows. As you can see here, we've given up most of our broadside to shoot at the enemy ships and get an angle, and we're just not really going to do anything except for receive fire. There's an enemy Von der Tann who's shooting at me. He does a little bit of damage there, but all in all, I think the armor scheme is pretty good. We'll see more later about that. Really, turning and hoping your turrets can turn back in time is not a fruitful exercise. All right, there you can see all four turrets can fire to the same side before we turn away. Really quickly, Von der Tann's history: fleet action during World War I, bombardments of the eastern coast, present at the Battle of Jutland, where it destroyed HMS Indefatigable in the opening minutes of the engagement. At one point in the battle, all of the main battery guns were out of action due to damage or malfunction. Interned at Scapa Flow following the end of the war, and the ship was scuttled. It was raised in 1930 and scrapped from 31 to 34. All right. Where was the really interesting thing I wanted to read? About the guns. Okay, here it is. Good grief. All right. The guns could be elevated up to 20 degrees. The maximum range was 18,900 meters. A refit in 1915, 20,400 meters. Where's my 20K gun range, Wargaming? I don't care if it's a Tier 3. I want to be able to shoot across the map. Where's my gun range? So, yeah, it would have been nice to have that in the Von der Tann just for yucks. Tier 3 battlecruiser that can shoot 20.4 kilometers would be amazing. They were getting assisted kill. We were shooting HE, so not doing a ton of damage here. I found the guns to be kind of underwhelming. The armor I felt for a battlecruiser was definitely okay. But all in all, I know most of you probably got the Von der Tann for free by doing a mission. That being said, if you're looking for a really nice tier 3 premium, I recommend the Nassau over the Von der Tann every day and twice on Sundays. All right, Emerald. We are going to shoot some heat at the Emerald. I think I did this because they were maneuvering a lot and going bow on and away, and I just wanted to do some damage, so that's why we're shooting HE. We do get a kill there by luckily sneaking an HE salvo. There is the one destroyer Gremiashi. I was really just pondering why the Gremiashi was not really aggressive at the beginning of the match. I felt he could have easily taken me out, maybe taken out another ship over here. Really shifted the balance for their team if he had done that. As you know, I love the Gremiashi. It's one of my favorite ships. I've got tons of Gremiashi videos up on my channel if you want to check out the Gremiashi. This cruiser here tried to ram into me. I don't think so, buddy. But yeah, I just concluded that the Gremiashi driver, and it hasn't been sold for a very long time. So in theory, the guy driving the enemy Gremiashi has been playing this game for a very long time. I just had to conclude he has no idea what he's doing in the Gremiashi. All right, someone else who may have no idea what they're doing, the Langley decided to go way forward, and I don't think that's a great plan. We're going to get an assisted base cap before we leave the cap circle. I turned a little bit too much, so here I'm trying to correct my heading. Nope, the carrier's dead. The Gremiashi provided no battle impact. His torpedoes go harmlessly into the island. We're retrograding because the Peter Veliky is back here. And this is the reason why I'm showing you the video. I'm going to show you the strong point of the ship is its turret arrangement and its armor profile here in an engagement with Peter Veliky, who just crushed my teammate. All right, here we're going to fire Peter Veliky 12 kilometers away, a far cry from the 20.4 kilometers I was promised by history. There you can see whether it's because of the angle or just these guns are really weak. Those really didn't do a whole lot of damage to Peter Veliky other than get his attention. His return fire, probably due to accuracy, isn't going to do a ton of damage. We turn in a little bit to mitigate, and there are a couple of hits. And now we're going to go bow on. And here's where the armor profile, if I'm remembering what happened correctly, kind of impressed me. We're just using the two of the turrets, front turret and the port side wing turret. As you can see, okay accuracy, not great accuracy. We're at 7.5 and closing, and those shells were kind of all over the place. He does take a couple of torpedoes there, or at least one torpedo, two torpedoes. Don't do a ton of damage. We're turning, and we do get 1-2 turrets off. And again, just a respectable amount of damage there, especially for the accuracy. There we take a shell right on the bow, and it doesn't appear to do any damage, whether it ricocheted or, just didn't pen. There he disables the turret, but the good thing is you can just turn your ship and get your other wing turret into action if you need to repair that rear wing turret on the port side. So there is a hit to Citadel and a kill, and I wanted to show you that. The Von der Tann was able to handle a pretty powerful tier 4 battleship. Now, albeit wasn't being played very well, but by using bow tanking and what I think is some pretty respectable armor for a battlecruiser at this tier and our wing turret arrangement, we were able to handle that ship no problem. But yeah, I encourage you to read about the development of Von der Tann. Quite a lengthy article in Wikipedia discussing the armament, the machinery, the general characteristics, the debate over the design characteristics when the ship was in development. So kind of an interesting read, which I didn't read all of it. But if you love ship history, I think this may have been a significant warship in that its development and stuff like that. There was a lot of talk about it, certainly a lot of information available. So in that respect, I guess you could say it was somewhat significant or at least interesting enough to save the history and put it out there. The Gremiashi, by the way, has retreated to the back corner of the map. I think he might have one kill in the game. Really just an utterly lackluster performance by somebody, probably just bought it in the bundle, but really has no clue how to exert their dominance in a top tier, really top of the line destroyer at this tier. I know people say Kamikaze is number one. I don't disagree with that. Kamikaze is cracking capable, even if it was down tier, even if it was in a failed division down tier, because of the volume of torpedo fire you can put out. But I think I've shown really definitively that Gremiashi is a great combo with long-range torpedoes, and you shouldn't have any problem dominating with Gremiashi if you know what you're doing. And I just don't think this guy knew what he was doing. I'm left to conclude that by he's hiding behind an island in the back corner of the map. I mean, that's not how you exert dominance. That's not how you get it done in a top-tier destroyer, at least in my opinion. Anyway, I'm sure you all had better matches than I did in the Von der Tann. Oh, look, there's a helping hand medal. That's funny. I didn't even know that. I must not have that one. All right, victory screen, rather unimpressive, 33,996 damage, 2 kills, 1 assist, 1 Citadel hit on that Peter Veliky, 1 assisted base cap, 3,200 ship XP, 3,400 commander XP, just over 91,000 silver in the Von der Tann. So if you picked it up and you don't have anything else, I guess it's a pretty fair ship for your tier 3 Ernops, but this was never purported to be an amazing match, and it was not. But I hope you enjoyed me talking about the Von der Tann and seeing maybe some of its capability. Although it's quicker than the average battlecruiser, I mean, it's still a World War I era ship. Aiming system mod 1, the only mod. I don't know what was going on there. I accidentally hit the wrong button. Loadout, you have 3 charges of the repair party, 3 charges of the, damage control, and 3 charges of the secondaries. I did those all backwards. The secondaries, I wouldn't necessarily build into that, especially if you have the Nassau. Type 9 permanent camo, Armistice Day 24 flag. Why not? 38,000 hit points and a 13% torpedo damage reduction. Your 4 twin 283 millimeter turrets. I believe that's the same caliber as the Scharnhorst. 14 kilometer firing range. That is obviously very nerfed from reality. 21.7 second reload, 40-second turn time. HE shells 3,200 max damage, 19% fire chance. AP shells 7,200 max damage. 2 sets of secondaries. The range of both is 5.8 kilometers. The first set of 4 88mm guns reloads every 4 seconds. 1,000 HE shell max damage with a 4% fire chance. Second set of 10 150s reloads every 8.6 seconds. 1,800 HE shell damage with a 10% fire chance. AA defense, well, at least it has some. Those 88s are dual purpose. They're your longest reaching AA, your best AA damage-wise, the 7.92 millimeter machine guns, 14 damage per second. Yikes. Maneuverability, 27.5 knots, 600 meter turning circle, 12-second rudder shift time. And concealment, 11.4 on the surface, 9.5 from the air, 8.5 if you're firing from a smokescreen. Take a look at the stats. Why bother? That's our only match. Here is the armor viewer. Well, there's not a lot of stuff to like here. Just above the waterline, Citadel with a kaleidoscope of armor colors. Putting the bow back on, you do have a little bit of a raised armor belt in the front. Maybe the Peter Veliky hit that armor belt. Goes up to 120 millimeters, 80 to 120. 16 millimeter torpedo side plate down the bottom there. Armor belt up to 250 on the sides, and it goes down underneath the water a little bit there. Turrets and barbettes, less heavily armored down into the armor belt for everything but the front turret. And that is the armor profile of the Von der Tann. All right, because I don't like using the same commander for all the premium ships. Oh, by the way, secondary reach, on-demand repairs. Yes. I don't know what else you would put there, so we'll claim that Wargaming is telling the truth, but I doubt it. About the secondary reach being that great compared to the Nassau. All right, here's our commander. I'm just hitting all the wrong buttons here on the controller. Franz von Hipper, elbow room for secondaries, range, and shell grouping. A good day's work in row number 1. The unique skill Night Spirit in row number 2. Marksmanship in row number 3. Reaching out XXL in row number 4. And Fight Fire with Fire is our legendary skill. Our inspirations, Paladin Revel for reload, and Arpeggio Haruna for range and dispersion. This should have 20.4 km main battery range, Wargaming. What's up with that? Anyway, let me know what you think about the Von der Tann in the comments. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody. See you next week with a much better video.